threw some sweatpants on, then I fed my cat, and then I walked to the mini mart. And I really want a donut, shouldn't get a donut, buy the donut, fuck it, man, it's really hard. Supposed to be on a diet, I wanna be like Ryan. He lost 30 pounds on that paleo. But fuck it, man, I love fried shit. I was gonna get skinny for the summer. I was gonna start doing my crunches. But looking down at my stomach, I'ma go to the beach, but I'm not taking my shirt off in public. My girl's shaped like a bottle of Coke. Me, I'm shaped like a bottle of Noop. I'd like to order a hot dog, some bonbons, a large soda, and some tacos to go. I never knew what a carbohydrate was.
Oh, it's a snotty clubhouse today, isn't it?
I'm not happy, Rob. I'm not
what's
happy.
What's wrong
at
with
all.
you? Look at the state of you both.
What do you mean the state of us both? We look fine, we're just ill.
Well, it's a matter of opinion.
Well, I'm on antibiotics, mate. I feel awful.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, sorry to hear that.
My throat, my tonsil. Can you see?
I can't, thankfully.
No.
My tonsils are the size of tennis balls.
Oh,
coughing up.
Do you ever have that thing? You know the dangly thing at the back of your throat? I can never remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Your tonsils?
No, the bit in the middle.
Oh.
Bit in the middle. You know, it comes like the I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, mine, if I get a sore throat, sort of swells up quite a lot and sits on the back of my tongue.
Yes.
And like can make me gag. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, like lying in bed, I can just feel it sort of dangling to the side of my tongue. It's horrible.
That's how mine started. I woke up.
Is it?
This was 2 weeks ago, and I woke up and it was like, I don't know. It was like having like a habanero just dangling in my mouth at the back of my mouth. And that sort of went after a bit, and then I sort of rallied, and then the past 3 or 4 days I've just felt shit. My sinuses are horrendous.
Yeah, I used to suffer a lot with my sinuses.
Yeah, and I get tinnitus with it as well. It's like
Oh,
all the time. It's really annoying. But I'm on antibiotics now, and I'm coughing up. I mean, just new shades of green. I might go to like a colour company and go, look, man, this is a new shade that's never been made.
I'm just looking at some, I'd like to do my kitchen, and I'm just thinking this. And then just ask for a colour match.
Yeah,
anyway, welcome to Stage Door Athletic. It's nice to join us here in the snotty, smelly coffee club house. But the reason we thought we'd come together to chat today is that the under-15s rugby team, just come in from training, Debs has lined up a whole range of protein balls and protein shakes and electrolytes. And I'm like, hang on a minute.
I thought those protein balls were like fishing tackle bait and stuff. I didn't know
you
they
could
were
use them
edible.
for fish.
I didn't know
you
they
meant
were
to.
edible.
Yeah, you meant to eat those.
Oh.
I mean, back in the day when I remember distinctly coming in home from training, been to Stanley Rangers under 15s, got home, we'd order Chinese.
Oh, yeah, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little treat.
It's a cigarette and half a pint of mild at half time, isn't it? Back in them days. But yeah, they've gone a bit crazy these days.
I know. Very conscious, the young people.
They are. Yeah. It's quite a trend now that, you know, you have to fuel yourself before, during and post matches now to aid recovery and aid performance.
Yeah, aid performance, you know, literally in our world as well. I'd be interested to know about how you ate pre, post or during shows. But also sport. This evening I'm going to go to Iftar, which is breaking fast of Ramadan with some Muslim colleagues. And I'm really fascinated by that. So I thought it'd be interesting. My friend and I were going. We said, well, we should really fast, shouldn't we, today?
Yeah.
So that we don't turn up,
gorged.
having had a massive lunch, hanging out, going, oh, how is it to fast?
I've just had a massive steak. Yeah.
I am drinking liquids, I'm afraid, because I think that'd be too much for me not to get through the day without a cup of tea and
You start to peel,
water.
don't you? Your face gets quite pruny, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm very brittle of
hydrate.
skin. Yeah.
You can have sparkling water and coffee, can't you? When you're
Sparkling water?
Nobody drinks sparkling water. It's like drinking pins and
I
needles.
love sparkling
No,
water.
I know. I hate
no.
it. But when you're fasting, I'm pretty sure you can have black coffee and sparkling water.
When you're fasting for dietary purposes or in Ramadan?
Good question. Don't know.
Yeah, I think in Ramadan
You're
you
back in
can't
your
have
lane,
liquids
James.
either.
Jesus Christ.
It's about observing an abstinence
Yeah.
during daylight hours, obviously as a form of sacrifice in some way to recalibrate our indulgence in the world. But there's lots of that going on at the moment at this time of year, of course. Many people will have had pancakes last week, which for many of us is just Pancake Day, but for those of the Christian faith is Shrub
Lent,
Tuesday, which is the day before the start of Lent on the Wednesday. And traditionally that was about using all the ingredients in the store cupboard to make pancakes. So you'd use up your milk and eggs before you set off in Lent, is the sort of origin of that in a modern context.
What do you have on your pancakes, Rob?
Oh, yeah, let's get to the real. I mean, we're talking about, obviously, major sacrifices, but this is a big question. I'm a lemon and sugar guy.
Yeah, me too.
I like a classic
Me too.
sugar with fresh lemon juice in. Really nice.
too.
Is that what you have?
That's
What do you
every
have,
day.
James?
I don't like it when people
Every day
have,
you have them?
No, every year, sorry. I don't like it when people have Nutella and stuff on it.
Oh,
What-
no.
What are you talking about?
I'll sometimes have a little dollop and I take
Get
a bar.
in your lane, James. What are you talking
I
about?
prefer sugar and lemon. I think
Yeah,
that's quite
it's a
good,
classic.
yeah.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
Yeah.
I broke fast on Tuesday with a friend of mine who I work with at West Bromwich Albion Football Club.
Yeah.
And it's really sweet. Obviously, when the sun goes down, they can have some snacks and all that kind of stuff. And dates. His wife would cut the dates in half and put nuts in them, and they were absolutely delicious. Yeah.
To get a big boost of energy in.
I suppose a bit of sugar and a bit of good fats in the nuts. It was really tasty. But it's really interesting at the Albion at the moment because some of the boys are, fasting as well for Ramadan this week. Well, how long do they fast for?
A month.
Yeah, it's a month, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously they have to... We were at a match on Tuesday. We were playing Notts County and the game has to be stopped so the lads make sure they get all their electrolytes on so they're not passing out during the pitch. It was really quite special, actually. It was quite cool to watch. It was really cool.
It was interesting, and I sort of looked a bit online about this, and there is a lot of advice now, which is probably relatively new in the history of these things, but Sports Wales, Sports England, a lot of the governing bodies of sports have pages around how to support athletes through Ramadan, what is best. But it's really difficult.
They must be exhausted.
Because chatting to a colleague who's Muslim, who is observing Ramadan, and he'd said part of the problem also is just the sleep, because what is difficult is the time that you can eat is the time you don't really necessarily want to eat. So to get up early to fuel for the day, for example, then you're not really wanting to gorge a lot at 4 or 5 a.m. before the sun rises.
Yeah, no.
And so it's managing tiredness, fatigue, as well as food and intake. But also looking, again, a little bit around this, it's certain around how it affects elite athletes. Some Muslims are also encouraged to voluntarily fast at different times of the year. And so some athletes choose to do it in their winter break, for example, rather than if they've got a major competition happening through Ramadan. But I mean, I really don't know the nuances of it, but it must be really, really challenging.
Yeah.
What was your fueling routine when you were, say, in Evan? Because I remember you used to say you got fat because you were eating late.
I'm a bit weird when I'm eating before going on stage. I'm really weird. I know people who can eat like full meals and then walk on stage and be like absolutely fine, whatever, and all that kind of stuff. But I feel uncomfortable if I go on stage with a full stomach. I feel very lethargic and very like, ugh. Especially singing as well. No dairy. No dairy if you're singing a big tune.
Yeah, why, Jack?
I don't know. They just told me.
Mucus, isn't it?
I think the dairy coats your vocal cords.
That's the one.
If you think of having milk or cheese, then actually, it's quite a gloopy kind of liquid, isn't it? And it coats the vocal cords and can make them a bit thicker and
Start singing like Morrissey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really weird. So obviously, when you're in, you must know the same. When you're in a show, you're obviously only working 6 o'clock till 10:30, 11, whatever in the evening. So you get up and there's not a fat lot to do in the day. But I don't eat a lot when I'm at work. But at the intervals, I'll eat loads. I think this is why I put loads of weight on.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
At the interval,
because you're in then.
Because I'm in then, I'm done, the nerves have gone, all that kind of stuff. We're even talking like 6 months into the run when nobody really cares about the audiences coming to see the show anymore. And I'm joking. Yeah, I used to go absolutely mental. So on a Monday, I would always go to Borough Market on a Monday when I was in Evan.
Oh, nice. Love Borough Market. If you don't live in London, you must go.
You must go to Borough Market. Yeah, it's a fantastic place with incredible food from all over the world. So me and Doug Colling, who played Connor, we shared a dressing room together. We created a little deli in our dressing room. So someone had bought us it was like a wicker basket or something. I can't remember who it was, a producer or something. And we kept the basket and we had Jack and Doug's deli. So I would buy charcuterie board stuff.
Great.
Some very nice, black pepper and garlic sauces on with like unbelievable sourdough, some peely jam made from a friend back up here in Birmingham that would send it down, cheese, everything, go absolutely ham. This is why, now I'm thinking about it, this is why I kind of got quite fat, because I'd eat like half a wheel of brie during every interval. But before the show, I'm talking, you know, at Pret you can have the soup.
Yes.
I'd have the half soup.
Yes. I don't see those half soups anymore.
No,
you know?
no, mate. I used to like
them
those.
out.
I thought it was a good idea.
I thought that the other day.
That with a bag of crisps, and that was it. And then 2 cups of peppermint tea and a chamomile tea, and then I'd need a wee. But I'm very, very dodgy, and it's probably not the way to do it. I remember the first preview, my girlfriend at the time, she obviously came to the show, we'd done the dress rehearsal, we'd done notes, we weren't needed back on stage until 7:30 whenever the show started, and we went to the pie company in Covent Garden, and I ate a full pie, mashed potatoes, everything, and I honestly, it's like panic attack central. I was like, I can't do the show, I cannot do the show, I feel ill, I'm going to throw up on stage, it's horrendous. So I have a really weird kind of relationship with food before going on stage. It's weird.
I mean, part of it is always, obviously there is the nutritional side of things about what's good for you, what isn't, you know, and I think full stomachs before exercise or exertion are never really good things. But then there's also just the superstition psychological part of it, isn't it, when you get into patterns.
If I'm burping things I've already eaten on stage, we're not happy.
It's not good for anyone.
Jared or Albert Narracott has not just eaten a full charcuterie board before going to war in the First World War. Do you know what I mean?
No, or Cassie and her mum who paid a fortune for those seats in the front row.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't know, it just pulls me out. It's weird. I'm really weird about food before going on stage. What about you? Do you eat anything? Do you just go mad?
Well, I was just thinking about your deli in the dressing room. It's not uncommon actually for a lot of shows to have a wine and cheese Friday, where someone in the company will kind of set up wine and cheese in one of the dressing rooms, often probably from the interval of the Friday evening performance.
Yeah, so we're all
it's designed really to be a focal point after the show, but it's not uncommon, particularly if you haven't got big roles, you might get going on that a little bit early because you haven't got much to do in the second act, so the wine and cheese might come out, or indeed sod it at the interval. I never did that. I think we're
not saying, if any young drama students are listening, this is not Peter O'Toole or anything like that. We're not drinking. We're not advocating that. It's not good.
But also, the cast meal is a very dominant tradition in most shows. If you're doing a long run, obviously you find your friendships and, you know, that perhaps doesn't happen, but early on in a run or during a rehearsal process or towards the end of, say, a 4-week run, there'll always be some sort of cast meal post-show one night, generally a night before a day where there isn't matinee, so maybe a Wednesday night or a Thursday night. And it's always a semi-awkward situation because not everybody gets on. And obviously you're bringing together not just the acting company, but the technical company, and everyone's invited. Often there's an error there because someone hasn't thought to invite someone in one part of the technical company, and that can create a schism that some actors will overcompensate around to make sure that there is no division between the acting company and the technical company.
Every time I go for I haven't done many, to be honest, but every time I have gone for a cast meal, I'm like, who the hell are half of these people? I don't know any of them.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's very bad.
And you've got to really strategically try and get your seat next to someone that you can sustain your evening conversation with. But also you don't want to look cliquey. So you don't want to just sit next to your best mate or the person you share a dressing room with, because you've been doing that anyway. But you do need to make an effort. It's a fraught. It's a meal fraught with
if you're on
politics.
tour, it's usually a shit restaurant somewhere near the theatre as well, and it's just
it'll either be a chain restaurant. Yeah. Now that's what I did do a lot on tour, because if you I've done a few long UK tours where you are doing week-long runs in every town and city across the United Kingdom. Yeah. You know, Darlington, Belfast, Edinburgh, all the big ones, and Stoke-on-Trent and Swindon or whatever. I don't know.
No disrespect.
But what inevitably happens there is sometimes, unless you've got a recommendation, you end up in Pizza Express, Bella Italia, Nando's, which can be great if you've got a taste card or you've got a discount nearby. You can get a good deal, you know, you club up with another actor and you do a 2-for-1 pizza or something.
It's just forced shit again. I'm just trying to do my job, you know what I mean? I'm not going to talk to any of you in 6 months. Leave me alone.
But That's me. I always just, sod it, just go at me. But then there will be someone in the company who like prepares meals and will bring like crudité out of a Tupperware box and do dips and fresh breads and hummus and things
and
like that.
And the wanker that always has like salmon or haddock and broccoli and puts it in the fucking microwave.
In the green room microwave, which is
on stage.
always
like,
really small with no ventilation.
It's like, I'm giving my Richard III. I should not be smelling smoked salmon while I'm fucking, do you know what I mean?
Kedgeree between shows is not advised.
But some people just don't give a shit. I kind of tip my cap to those because, like I've said, I can't. There was a thing in Warhorse. Here's a good example. A guy in Warhorse, his mom used to make homemade pies. And I'm shitting you not, they were some of the best pies I've ever eaten in my life. So come Thursday in between shows, so after the matinee, he would come around and be like, right, Mum's a pie order, are you having anything? And she would, bless her, I mean, the Castable Horse was like 40, 50. So she would make and bake and all this other stuff, like 40, 50 pies and like steak and ale, chicken and mushroom. At Christmas,
I love a steak and ale.
Oh, I know, me too. At Christmas, she'd do like a turkey and all the trimmings pie and blah, blah, blah. It was brilliant. So then, I don't know if you know, do you know the fish and chip shop that's not too far from Drury Lane, the Theatre Royal? Not the Theatre Royal, the New London. It's not called the Gillian Lynn. It's called now. Is it called Rock and Soul?
I do know it. Yeah, I do know it. Yes, it is. Yeah, just on Endell Street there.
Yes, on Endell Street.
Very good. Yeah.
So one of us would, whoever pulled the short straw, would literally finish the show, sprint off, get out of costume, and sprint to the chip shop to get oodles and oodles of chips. Come back, and we'd sit and we'd eat them. Now, this is all beautiful, and the green room at the Gillian Lynn, the New London as it was called, is really big. It's quite long, so it would look after us. We'd sit there, very cast bonding and all that kind of stuff. Cut to finishing eating it. There's probably about, I don't know, half an hour before the show goes back up, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. We're all asleep.
In a carb coma.
Fast asleep. So Joey and Topthorne, the puppets, were hung up at the back of the stage before ready to start on again, literally like a coat hangers. It was weird. Anyway, so we'd eat these pies. Oh, thank you so much. It was so amazing. And then we'd all just sort of like filter out onto stage before the audience were let in and stuff and fall asleep on stage. Now, and there's like 6 or 7 people, actors and puppeteers, like asleep, fast asleep underneath these puppets. And there's pictures of like us underneath Topthorne and Joey like falling asleep. And then you just get the company manager and the stage manager just running around going, wake the fuck, guys, the house opens in 5 minutes. Jesus Christ. And these poor horse puppeteers have got to carry this wicker basket looking like a horse around for 2.5 hours. It was chaos, absolute chaos. Thursday evening, or it was matinee day, so it was either a Thursday or a Saturday. Yeah. They were awful shows.
Oh, but that makes me think of the time. I remember doing Death of a Salesman, and part of the set, it was like one of those sets that had like lounge, different kitchen. Upstairs was a bedroom. It kind of turned on a revolve, so there was beds on the set upstairs.
Love it.
And oh god, it was me and Stephen who played. If we'd often like go upstairs and like have a little nap between shows, literally in the beds, and then the stage manager would be like, can I set the show? Guys, can you get up to beds?
Do you know the story about, talking about fuel and looking after yourself before going on a show, do you know the story about what happened in Cabaret when you directed us?
Oh god, no. What?
Okay, so he might kill me for telling you this.
Oh my god.
He'll be fine. It's very funny. We talk about it a lot when we meet up. So Rob, if you're new to the podcast, Rob directed my third year musical at drama school. We did Cabaret. Because there's 20 people in the cast, they have to do 2 sets. So there's cast A and cast B, so it rotates so everybody gets a chance to play a main character. So in cast whatever it was, I played Cliff, which is great. Thanks, Rob. Good casting range, good castability. And in the other cast, it was just like, a Kit Kat Club member and all that kind of stuff. So we're dancing, bit ensemble. Anyway, so we've done... We've done the dress rehearsal of my cast, and also another guy in that cast, one of my best friends, Rupert. We're both just ensemble members in their next cast. So we go for lunch, and we go back to a pal's house, which is up the road in Swiss Cottage, and Rupert's not feeling very well. So Rupert's like, have you got any, to Sam, whose house we were in having lunch and all that kind of stuff, he's like, have you got any day nurse? Or any something like that? He's like, oh yeah, brilliant, great. So we next and he's fine, and I'll feel a bit bad. I just feel really crap. Anyway, we go back to the theatre. Cast B are doing their dress rehearsal. Me and Rupert are just cabaret, Casper
Being
and the Bake.
really supportive.
Really supportive, yes. I'm trying our best. To which the opening tableau of the show is me, all the Kit Kat Club members we were in sort of like, letters and all. Was it that one or was that, letters, that's right. Was that right?
I can't remember, but there was one moment in the show where bodies spelt the word cabaret with a K and they were backlit in silhouette,
Yeah, but I think, this
innovative.
is very innovative, very well done. So me and Rupert are in position looking very beautiful and sexy and all this kind of stuff. And the music starts. And I just look to the right of me, and Rupert is like slumped over with his heads in his hands like this. And I'm like, oh my God, we've started. What the hell? And I'm like, shaking him. I'm like, Rupert, you all right? You all right? And he looks at me and he just goes, I've taken 2 doses of night nurse, not day nurse. And I can't do this. I'm going to fall asleep. So for the whole show, I'm literally just throwing him around the stage, trying to wake him up because he was falling fast asleep.
Oh my God.
It was so funny.
No wonder I didn't notice, because it's quite hard to distinguish that from Rupert's general acting style. I'm joking, Rupert, if you're listening.
He was fast asleep.
That's horrible for him.
And he was like trying to wake himself back up, but he was 2 doses of night nurse to get him through the show. He was falling asleep. It was so funny.
Oh my goodness. It makes me think about, I think we might have talked about this years ago on the podcast, when the actor Anthony Andrews, which people of a certain generation will know and love, is kind of like, a sexy man for our mother's generation. He was in Brideshead Revisited and stuff. And he was starring in My Fair Lady at Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. And he was rushed to hospital because he drunk too much water.
What?
He got waterlogged. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's such a thing called water intoxication, essentially. And he collapsed and was, hallucinating and doing all of these things. It causes like a chemical imbalance in your blood, known as water intoxication. And he had to go off to hospital and was off for a little while because he was hospitalised and put on a drip to get all that balance back and everything. Because we all think, you can't drink too much water, right? It's really good, and you get into these 2 litres a day things. But apparently he'd drunk 8 litres of water before his show.
Jesus.
And I mean, it's great when you look it up, because I'd remembered this, so I looked into it, and it's great because there's quotes of Anthony Andrews goes, if it hadn't been for my driver Barry, who saved my life and rushed me to hospital, I might not be here. I just love the idea that Anthony had obviously insisted on a driver as part of his contract to get him in and out of Drury Lane.
That's quite true.
Which was
we can only dream, Rob. We can only dream.
I know, that's so funny.
But in terms of sports, what do you eat before any playing sport? I mean, obviously you're more rugby than football. I mean, I can't eat a lot before a football match either.
I really don't like to eat a lot before. And I also get I need to pee a lot.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
So, the nervous adrenaline before a game, which some people don't get nervous at all before a game, but I really do. And so I'm always running off to the woods or to the fence or to a tree to have a pee. So I really try and balance that sort of liquid idea before performing or before any kind of sport.
Because it is, I mean, for sportsmen, it's really important because, again, at the Albion, I see and I eat a lot. Actually, what they don't eat, I take the leftovers. On match days, they eat a lot before a game. Like a lot. And they're in at 11:30. They're eating 4 chicken breasts, a massive bowl of vegetables, and then a massive bowl of rice and all that kind of stuff to preload it. And they've got they've got a bowl full of hydration tablets, vitamins. It's crazy, and electrolyte tablets and all that kind of stuff. And they just take sleeves of them and then drive to the ground from the training ground.
Yeah.
It's mad what they have to eat. It's crazy.
Well, elite sportswear, I saw a clip the other day as well, which blew my mind a little bit. I think it was after one of the Six Nations games, and all the players gone into the dressing room, and they had, like a buffet at a nice wedding event, in the dressing room, they'd had a table with things like chicken strips, protein balls, meals like pizza slices, or things that obviously a very highly paid nutritionalist dedicated to the team who'd probably designed individual food plans for everybody pre, post and during matches. And they've got a whole range of different foodstuffs to encourage them to eat immediately after the exercise that were all designed to aid recovery. And it sort of just blew my mind about how all this stuff has evolved and the science in it all. But I mean,
half
it's
an
really
orange and
yummy.
a cigarette back in the
Yeah.
day at football, isn't it? Literally. But
I wonder if they still do. Do amateur clubs still, like, does someone whip out orange wedges at
hope
half time?
so.
I remember, because that is my childhood.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Stood on the top of an ice-cold, windy hill.
Yeah.
Criggleston Rugby League Club. Oh, God, and the wind howling over it on the edge of the Yorkshire moors. And, you know, stood there at half-time taking a team talk and being handed orange wedges.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Those are the days, man.
I hope that still happens.
goes. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
it will. I'm a big I load up on sweets before eating as well. That comes back from when I was a kid playing football. There used to be a tuck shop next to the pitches that we used to play on. So they used to just feed us loads of sweets at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And then
Yeah.
you just buzz. But then obviously afterwards you'd crash to shit. You'd feel horrible. But
Yeah.
I have sweets, but apart from that, I can't eat a lot before going out and playing football.
Well, there'll be a lot. I've got friends who are marathon runners, and there'll be a lot of people right now training for the London Marathon at the end of April. And there's loads of insight there and loads of blogs and websites about how to fuel pre,
Pickle
during,
juice.
and after the race and everything. Pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
I love that movie.
Say it 3 times and a pickle just appears behind you. Pickle juice. So it's good for cramp. Apparently, they have jars of it at the training ground in fridges. If
So
you
as
have
in, like,
juice from
the vinegar that
Yeah.
a load of silver skin onions have been in, or beetroots. Oh, I love
Yeah,
silver skin
gherkins.
onion. I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I love the
silver
silver. Oh, I
skin.
bloody love them. I love it and I hope they sell it here. You get bags. You get like 4 crackers in a bag, and then like some soft cheese, and then 3 silver skin onions. It's like
great.
£2.50, and you're like, yeah, living the dream.
Yeah.
Anyway,
James's face.
That sounds
Is that not
Do you
awful.
not like a pickled onion?
No,
he's too southern,
not
mate. He doesn't like
and
it.
Yeah.
the idea of drinking pickle juice
Pickle
sounds
juice.
like
So they're
my
like
hell.
they have just like shots.
You haven't
of
been
pickle
raised on
juice.
pork pies like we have.
No, yeah. Pork dries and offcuts. Tripe. Literally legit. They have shots of pickle juice, it's called, and it is just the juice from gherkin in the jars, and apparently it's incredible for cramp and aids recovering cramp. So if somebody's
Wow.
cramping on a football pitch, the physio
Yeah.
will sprint on and go, "You're
Shove a
cramping, bro.
pickled
Here you
onion
go.
in their mouth."
Have some pickle juice."
Like some perverse
shot.
sex game.
And apparently it's
shocked now.
horrendously disgusting. Well, obviously it's not going to taste very nice, is it? But yeah, pickle juice.
Well, it's also, I would just advocate for anybody, any creative thinking about transitioning from being an actor into a director. What's great about that is that when you're in the tech week and you're approaching the shows and
Oh,
you're in
you're
preview,
a prick. I
is
know
that you
the
sort-
noise. You don't give a shit. The rustle from halfway
Yeah.
up the auditorium of you
Yeah, it's
eating like
great.
Brazil nuts coated in fucking chocolate.
Yeah. And you also just get on it. I mean, the amount of times I sort of sat with writers like Brian E. Lavery and I'd be like, should we get to the bar and we get a bottle
Just
of
get a
wine?
piss.
We would sit with our notepads. But I remember Tech Weeks as well, like Rachel Kavanagh, who is a brilliant director, used to run Birmingham Rhett. She does loads in the West End these days. And I was her assistant for a while. And, I took it really seriously to fuel her during Tech Weeks. One of the things her and I really loved that became our thing was a slice of malt loaf with butter on.
Serene.
So I would like this, Saurine malt
Serene.
loaf. And so,
Yeah.
I don't want to offend you with my pronunciation, Jack, but Serene. And
Master, whatever.
satay. Like I would slice up Saurine and put butter on it and have loads of those, and I would feed her, nuts and fruit, and then I'd also do a nice timed Barocca shot at some point in the day where we would just have a little shot of Barocca to keep the energy going in Tech Weeks.
I love that. Have you ever done a Baroccadine?
A Baroccadine?
Baroccadine. Again,
that?
bless Rupert Elms from drama school. He was the one for this. Obviously, at drama school, you just get pissed all the time. So we used to be in rehearsals and performing, actually very hungover. His hangover cure would be a Baroccadine. So a Barocca and a Solpadine Max mixed together, which is like, well, you get all the vits from the Barocca, and then the Solpadine Max is like caffeine, codeine, and paracetamol. You just neck it before going on stage. You feel fine.
Because I always thought
Crazy.
that would be great to sell that in a can,
Barocca.
as an alcohol recovery drink.
Yeah.
With like a hangover recovery drink where the next day you go and you buy a can, it's got paracetamol in, Barocca, but obviously it must be illegal, that cocktail, or
someone
dangerous
would have done
because
it.
it would have been marketed by now.
I was just about to say we should get into the business. That's a hole in the market,
Yeah.
but that's probably illegal.
Well, I will let you know how I get on with my fasting. I'm quite worried about that. I do eat during the day.
I'm hungry
quite
already.
A lot.
It's
Yeah.
early. It's early doors here today, and I'm
know.
hungry already.
Yeah, but I'm quite excited to go. I'm hoping there's going to be a great feast on display
it'll be
tonight.
brilliant.
Yeah,
What experience? It'll be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so I shall let you know about that. I did actually make myself a lamb and spinach curry and last night, and I made homemade bargies.
Oh, how'd you make them?
Really, really
Deep fried
good.
them?
Actually, I got this great gift from my sister for Christmas, which was a whole load of really lovely, authentic spice mixes for curries and various things in bags, and I've been working my way through those over the last few months, but one of which was a bargee mix. And so you just chop up an onion, mix this bargee flour and the spices it with some water, and it all goes gloopy, and then you just shallow fry that in nice little patties. It's great. I love a bargee.
You love a bargee. You look like you love a bargee as well, mate.
You look like a bargee.
You look. No, I don't. Good looking bargee.
Well, great. Well, all that talk of food has made me hungry. That
You should fast today. I think that's a good idea.
Fancy a protein ball?
I don't want a protein ball. I'll go fishing. Do you want to go carp fishing?
Silver skin onion.
I'll have a silver skin. Yes. And a shot of pickle juice for Jimbo, obviously.
Oh, no. You'll never
Let's go and have one. Come on.
Just have one. Do it. You're doing it.
Fine.